Okay. I want to talk about Steve Ward. Steve Ward is the He is the dating specialist on not couples therapy, but tough love. He is the he is the counselor on tough love. Okay. Now it's pretty clear that based on the people that the couples that he brings on the show, the couples or singles that he brings on the show, that he is not a fan of what you call quote unquote casual sex. Okay. You could pretty much assume that he believes that sex should be within a serious relationship. Okay. I won't go so far as you need to love this person forever or have a lifetime commitment in order to have sex. He just believes that it should be in a serious relationship, and it should symbolize some type of loyalty and trust. It should doesn't matter the ontology, but the idea based upon the ontology of sexuality from its physical standpoint, that it is very clear that it should be an instrument to demonstrate loyalty. Okay. So based on that understanding, I'm not surprised on how Steve reacted toward a man who is a polyamory supporter. Okay. Now, maybe later on in some other videos, I'll actually show you the exchange between Steve Ward and this polyamory supporter. But I just want to add my 2 cents. I've studied polyamory. I've studied swinging. I know that these two lifestyles are not in the mainstream. In many circles are deemed immoral based upon a monogamous moral world view standpoint. I know that many prominent psychologists have moral objections, or at least psychological objections toward this type of lifestyle. But Steve, in his comments, he made some erroneous comments. He made some erroneous assumptions. First off, he simply perceived polyamory as casual sex with multiple partners. And that's his first fundamental perception. And you can hear that in his comments when he says that you're a pig. He calls the polyamory guy a pig. You're not serious about relationships. You think you can sleep around with a whole bunch of people. Now, I'm just paraphrasing, but that's basically the gist of what he's saying. Saying that you can't, at least be honest with yourself that you don't believe in love or commitment or what have you, because you're sleeping around with other people. First off, his perception of polyamory is fundamentally erroneous. Okay, polyamory is having multiple romantic relationships with different people. That's all it is. It is not essentially having recreational sex with multiple partners. That is not the central goal. I mean, you could be in a monogamous relationship and have a casual sexual relationship. Okay. The feelings of using sexuality as just simply recreational, not something that is symbolized of commitment, can be in a monogamous relationship or in a multiple romantic partner relationship. Okay, so he's confusing the terms. Okay, now swinging obviously is having, it's usually a couple who's having sexual experiences with other people. And this is not inclusive of a relationship. Okay. They're just having what people would call, quote unquote, casual sex. And casual sex is kind of a weird term anyways. Okay. There's a fundamental difference between the two. Okay, there's many polyamorous that find swinging immoral based upon their conventional presupposition that sexuality, sex must be within a caring, I wouldn't even say caring, just a serious relationship. A relationship of some type of commitment or some type of romantic relationship. Okay. Now then we have swingers who would find polyamory immoral because they believe that yes, you can have sexual experiences with as many people as you want. There's nothing immoral or moral about it, but to say that you can have emotional commitment, if you want to call it that, or a serious relationship with two people at the same time, they find that fundamentally impractical and fundamentally immoral. Not all swingers. I mean, there are swingers who accept polyamory, and there's polyamorous who would accept swinging. Okay, they may be both. I mean, there could be swingers that are polyamorous and swingers. There could be polyamorous that are swingers and also polyamorous. So the two terms are two different terms. And this, Steve probably does a good job in many respects on Tough Love. I'm sure there's certain things that annoy me about it, but there's many things that he talks about that are true, that have nothing to do with monogamy or non-monogamy. So this is not to just totally discredit Steve Ward as a relationship expert, but he doesn't have expertise on polyamory or swinging. Now, there's one comment that he made that he says that most of the times multiple relationships do not work. And that may be true. That doesn't mean that it is an immoral act. Because first of all, if you're making the presupposition that these relationships are not working because it's just innately they're not intended to work, that is a bias. That's a bias from your monogamous worldview. Because I will tell you this: if there comes a time where monogamous relationships do not work, or people say they do not work, Steve will say that they can still work, but it is your fault that they don't work. Okay, so again, let me just reiterate this. If there's situations or there are groups of people who say that monogamous relationships do not work, and they come on couples therapy, okay. Well, actually, they won't be on couples therapy, but tough love. I'm sorry. If they come on tough love and they say monogamous relationships do not work, or they're having doubts about it, be assured that Steve is going to say that they will work if you want them to work. And that's the same thing that a polyamorous supporter can say too as well. So simply because it doesn't, see, you can't determine the morality of polyamory based upon how effective, based upon the current effectiveness of the people who are trying to be polyamorous. Because even Steve admits that there are some polyamorous relationships that do work. He said most of them don't work. Okay. So again, I just want to reiterate that there is a difference. There is a fundamental difference between polyamory and swinging. Okay. And the two groups who engage in the two different lifestyles, some of them oppose the other lifestyle. So polyamorous would oppose swinging, and swingers would oppose polyamory. Not all of them, but some of them. And that shows that there's a fundamental difference between the two. Now, there are some that adopt both lifestyles. There are people who are polyamorous and also swingers. There's people that are swingers and they're also polyamorous. So that's a big distinction. And that's the thing that I noticed, that some relationship experts who claim to know what polyamory is about do not understand based upon their assumptions of what polyamory is erroneously, not what polyamorous is in reality. So you guys can leave your comments. And if you agree, you can leave your comments. Or if you disagree, you can leave your comments. Have a nice day.